Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to the European Esports Championship. We are here for qualifying night of this very unique and very special event. We're going to be taking to the action, of course, myself, James Head, lead commentator for the European Esports Championship, and I am joined in the comment box. His face being shown for the first time on an EML stream, apart from EML Academy, of course. It is Mr. Michael Edwards. Mike, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic, James. Looking forward to getting into some fantastic action out there on track. Of course, a lot of nations competing, and we're going to be seeing who's going to come out on top.
It is going to be very interesting indeed. And just a bit of background, actually, in terms of this championship. It is fully cross-play, so we're seeing some PC guys in, we're seeing PlayStation. We've got an Xbox driver and TF10 2D in, who's going to be very interesting. Qualifying is just about to begin, so we will bring you on track very, very shortly indeed. But the absolute talent that we've got out on track tonight is something to behold. And of course, all of them are representing their own nations. So we've got in total what should be, I think, 17 nations represented out of potentially 20. But we've only got 13 actually here tonight because Spain and the Celtic Union, as I'm calling them, Wales, Ireland, and Scotland, not showing up either. But everyone is in the lobby. Alan Banaszak has just left the session, so hopefully we can get him back in very shortly indeed. Brad is in charge of the lobby, so he will be in charge of inviting him back. But in terms of that lineup that we've got here tonight, Mike, that is a very strong lineup. Bradley Holdham, of course, F1 Esports Challengers and Pro Exhibition driver. Tyjo Hardy, former PSGL F1 champion in season 32. Marlon, former EML champion with NLR back in the day in season 4. We've got the likes of Manduka, a very unknown quantity from Malta. We've got Aurelian, two-time F1 Esports champion, two-time F1 Esports driver even, out on track. Something to behold, and the best of it is, of course, everyone's going to be in F1 World Cars, so it's going to be an absolute pain for us in the commentary box to see who's in what car.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, they do make it easy for us and go through their national flag colours and just to make it easy for us. But in terms of drivers, I'm looking forward to seeing. Obviously, Bradley Oldham out here. I mean, as you mentioned, qualified for the Pro Exhibition, and it's going to be insane just seeing like how he drives and just being able to jump on board and just see the skill displayed by Bradley here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Bradley, the last time I commentated with him, I think, was what, PSGL, PSF1 season 33, and he obviously transitioned over to PC the season after, been doing fantastically well on PCF2 as well recently. He's definitely one to watch out for coming into tonight. Again, we've got the very unknown quantity, the likes of your Daniele Parodis, the likes of your Fabian Mark Steiners as well, who are coming in for, respectively, for Austria and also for Rising Lions as well. Rising Lions, a big, important part, of course, of EML in Season 5. Season 6 as well is going to be open very, very soon indeed, so I am told. But we are going to ride on board with Bradley Holdham as he's coming now up the hill in towards turns number 9 and 10. Have a look in the comment section. Let me know who you are supporting as a nation, who you're supporting as a driver, who you're supporting as a team, or if you're supporting us in the comment box, that's even better. As Bradley Holdham even now comes through the final corner on the run to the line. Let's ride on board with a lap here in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. Coming through the right-hand of turn number 1 at the Lauda curve, running now through turn number 1. Very neatly done, about as good as I've seen actually somebody take that on a first lap. Now through the kink of 2, in towards Remus now at turn number 3, and at 15.9 in the first sector, already quick. The PC guys possibly going to have the advantage rather than the console guys out on track here tonight, but we'll see what Bradley can do in terms of this. He now comes down the hill in towards the right-hander of turn number 4. The Poles will want an invite as well. We'll try and get an invite to them in due course, but Bradley now coming through the right-hander of turn number 4 and 5, and then into the left-hander of turn number 6 at the Pirelli curve, and we'll see what he's going to do in terms of this middle sector split. It's a 44-3 in the middle sector. Very, very neatly done indeed. Apparently the sound is behind, so give me a second. That might just sync back into everything else. There we go. Hopefully that fixes it. Bradley now coming through the right-hand of turn number 10 at the Pirelli curve, further through the Red Bull Mobile curve on the run to the line, and a 103.4 to start off the night. Not too bad for Team England's Bradley Holdham.
Yeah, not too bad for the old enemy, as I like to call them, the English. Not too bad at all, and yeah, incredible first lap there, but immediately beaten by Tyjo Hardy there with a 1:03.1, putting himself up there in the top tier.
Aurelian coming through the final corner as well for Team France on the run to the line, 103.3. That's more like it from Aurelian. He's very strong around this track. Daniel Kelton, of course, Veloce Academy driver nowadays, in there in second. Very talented Norwegian driver. Look at how close they can actually take turn number one. You normally have a bit of lift there coming through turn number one. Looks like the PC guys almost take a flat out through that corner, which is absolutely mad. It is such a hard out on top, though. Daniel Kelton there in second, Marlon there in third. So it's currently Team Netherlands over Team Norway over Team Germany right now, and then you've got Italy in fourth, France there in fifth, and unfortunately for the Brits, lapping down as what we will do in Euros in 2024, down in seventh position with Bradley Holdham right now. Seeing if there's anybody else in the lap time as well. Pulkas for Team Finland even is there in ninth position. Mankuka, sorry, is on a lap as well. Manduka even, goodness me, can't even get his name out, but he's in a lovely Maltese livery now coming through the middle sector. 200s down through the middle sector split, and we'll see if he is going to improve in terms of this lap time. There's a little bit of illegal blocking going on. Going in toward the pit lane. Looks like Manduka is actually back off. Looks like he is coming into the pit lane. And good news as well, if you're a Polish fan, it is going to be Banaszak rejoining the session very shortly indeed, if he hasn't already. But Taicho Hardy out on top, Daniel Kelton there in second, Molon there in third. Alan will be coming into the session in due course. Brad saying he's got the invite there ready, and he has invited him, so hopefully we can get it back in. But first lap's on the board, Mike. Taicho out on top, Daniel Kelton second, Marlon there in third. 3 drivers that I expected, to be honest, to be up there.
Yeah, and first blow to the Netherlands out there. Obviously, Taicho Hardy with a fantastic banker lap early on in the session. Just over 12 and a half minutes to go in the session. Obviously, the times are going to ramp up. I'm going to put the prediction now to you. Where do you think pole position, in terms of the fastest lap that we'll see, where do you think that will, what time that will be?
I think, judging by how PC and normally are around here, I think it's going to be around a 102.6, 102.7, around about that benchmark. We've seen drivers set obviously a very good lap time there, 103.1, but the middle runs normally are the defining factors. Alan has retired the session and left the session as well, so I'm not sure if there is potentially a problem with him. It looks like there is. He's mentioned in the Discord that there is. He's taking control of his car, and I think there's a lot of frame rate dropping and whatever, so I don't think he can take control of his car, which means Team Poland, it seems, have now got back foot to do in Lobby 2, which is unfortunate, but these are things. It's cross-play. It's new to us. It's new to everyone here out on track as well, playing with three platforms, obviously, in one. Bound to happen with the issues, but we will fix them as the season goes on. And Jurnic now coming through the right-hand of turn number 1. We'll see on the run towards the right-hand of turn number 1, and then through in towards turns 2 and 3. Maze, by the way, is telling in the Discord that Banaszak can join Lobby 2. So Tom will be in charge of Lobby 2. He'll be getting that set up in due course, and Alan will be in there. So Team Poland will have 2 drivers, but they're not allowed to use Slipstream, as 2D picks up a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking, which, luckily, Mike, doesn't actually come into effect in qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. Fortunately for 2D there, it doesn't come into effect, and definitely got away with them. But, of course, sometimes in qualifying, it does give you 5-place grid drops for just being on track sometimes.
Yeah, and that was coming through the middle sector, I think. 2D picked that up. There's a Group 3 cars coming through there. Jurnic, though, was looking very good. The WR Esports van now in towards the right-hander of turn number 10 at the Red Bull Mobile Curve. Aurelian, another one to pick up a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking. He goes 8th, though, the WR man of Jurnic Dovlan, and a very, very good lap from him. He's there in 8th position right now, but it is Taicho Hardy out on top. Daniel Kelton there in second, and Marlon there in third. Taicho Hardy, however, though, Mike, improving in the first sector, running the Team Netherlands Livy running wide, coming out of turn number 4, Schlossgold, but Taicho Hardy looking very, very quick. He has won a race around here in PSGL PSF1. He is now looking to try and reclaim that form with a 44-1 in the middle sector, 200s down.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just on board with Bradley Holdham, who obviously pops up there into P2. With a improved time of 1 minute 3.174. He found a lot of time in the middle sector. Was down in the first sector, so still more time to find there for the Englishman.
And Taicho Hardy improves his lap time there, 103 flat. Very, very quick, coming through turns 9 and 10. Then that's where he gained all of that time back. Fantastic lap time from him. Bradley Holdham there in second. F7R12, where have we seen that before around here in Austria? Very, very easily done, I've got to say, from one of the top teams on PlayStation, one of the top teams on PC for that matter as well. Daniel Kelsen for Veloce Academy on the run to line for Team Norway, 103.1, puts himself now into second. So Bradley Holdham not dropping down into third. A rally in there going fourth as well for Team France. So very, very good lap times being set in. Ren's there in fifth, no mug whatsoever as well. Luke Thomason, of course, for Team Belgium. ETA Ren's to you and me on PlayStation. He's there in fifth position, 103.2. And to be fair to him, Mike, he's only 300th of a second off of rallying, 600th off Bradley Holdham. He's going to be really buoyed by his lap so far.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be absolutely loving life for the lap that he's done so far. And there's going to be opportunity to eke out that little bit of more time, and that's all he's going to be looking for, just squeaking out that few extra thousands, that few extra tenths of a second to climb up a couple of positions.
Yeah, definitely. So just seeing if there's anybody else on lap time right now in their second runs, not quite. 2D, however, I think is coming through the middle second. He's down though on his lap time. The WR Tier 2 driver, of course, from last season, now promoted, of course, to Tier 1, formerly VSR back in the day as well, has formed part of the Legacy Division team for VSR in Season 2, and 2D is no mug whatsoever. He's the only Xbox driver, actually, here tonight, which is unbelievable, and you would think we'd get more representation. Ross Greenhorn, Mr. whatever his face is, the Flying Scotsman himself, I can't think of his name right now, but it is Liam Bowman. Liam Bowman is the man. Team Scotland, I'm looking at you. Why didn't you bring the top guys from Xbox in? But I do not know. But Tycho Hardy out on top, though. Daniel Kelsen there in second. Bradley Holdham in third. It's Netherlands from Norway from Team England right now. Then it's France, Germany with a rally in the Marlon round off the top five. Belgium in sixth with Luke Thomason. And Daniel Parodi in seventh for Team Italy. Then Jurnic in Team P8 for Team Slovenia, and then it's 2D in 9th for Romania, Pulkas there in 10th for Finland, Fabian there in 11th for Austria, his home track, and Manduka even there down in 12th position, the Maltese man there down in 12th, looking to try and get a good lap time. And as I say, Alan Banaszak will join Lobby 2 as a result of a car control issue, it seems, inevitably, which has forced him out of Lobby 1. Myself and Mr. Ivan Mike, Mr. Michael Edwards, taking you through the action, of course, here tonight. Let me know in the comment section who you are supporting for. Wizzy there in the chat saying up at Brexit. I agree. Primos there saying in the chat about the sound. It's luckily been fixed, though. May saying it's not coming home, and Oscar there saying, add Alan, please. And Alan will, remember, be in Lobby 2. Wizzy now saying it's coming home. Yeah, Brexit coming and it's coming home. Not great in my eyes.
I mean, I'm from Wales. These don't mean anything to me.
You bear no allegiance to us.
No, I am completely unbiased. I have no allegiance.
Daniele Parodi, though, a driver that is very, very familiar to actually PSGL viewers coming through the right-hander now of turn number 1. He's in the Alfa Romeo kick livery, the special livery, of course, that they run, I think, in Monza, if I'm not mistaken, in real life. Daniele, though, coming up towards the end of the first sector. 15.8 in the first sector, pretty much on par with what we've seen in terms of the quickest first sectors. So he's not looking too bad, actually, the Italian running down the hill. Now, I don't know about Daniele Parodi. In my notes, I've got absolutely nothing about him, but he's about to now put himself on the map to me and you, Mike, certainly in the commentary box. He now comes through the right-hander at turn number 4, and he's looking good at coming through that part of the track. Now towards turn number 6, it's a very difficult corner. If you go offline through here, you're off into the gravel, but Daniele really controlling the car. 800 up in that middle sector, looking very good. Gets a little bit of traffic there coming through that part of the track, but Daniele is looking good now, coming in towards turn 9.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of traffic getting out of the way of Daniel coming through the penultimate corner, but through the final corner, big commitment on the curbs and to the line.
Wow.
And it's the fastest lap we've seen so far.
Big final sector. Oh, it's Tycho Hardy is just going on board with him. Spins coming through turn number 6. I literally said if you go offline through there, Bradley Holdham now going second for England. Tycho Hardy went offline. Luckily has spun the car. I think he could go for another run if he's got enough fuel, but I think he will bail into the pit lanes. He's currently there in third. Daniel Kelton has just started up on his lap for Team Norway. A rallying as well, just starting up on his lap, it seems, as well. Just trying to see if there's any further on a lap. Luke Thomason is on a lap for Belgium, but he's invalid. It was 2 tenths up, though, on a 103 flat, and he would have went pole with that lap time as well for Team Belgium. Remember, we've got Lobby 2, so all of the times get added up, I think, into one. That represents the team, and of course 10 teams qualify for the Crossplay Championship, for the European Esports Championship, and of course round 1 will happen next week. And to remind everyone, if they haven't seen the calendar already, I will flash it up on your screen in a second, but it is Spain, round 1 of the Championship, which is very interesting indeed. But Daniele Parodi out on top, Bradley there in second, Taja Hardy there in third, Benza, PSGL, PSF1 man himself there in the chat, very happy with how the Team Italy's fortunes are going right now, as Marlon's back in the pits, Aurelian improved, and Daniel Kelton, I believe, also improved.
No, Kelton was marginally down, unfortunately. So it was 5,000 down. So almost matching the time, but wasn't enough to improve and get further up the field, unfortunately, for Daniel Kelton.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but then again, around a track like this, it's pretty easy to try and not actually improve on your final runs. The track is so quick around this track. The tyres have literally got 60 seconds plus just to try and get online in terms of the tyres. Jonic now coming into the pit lane. He was down in the middle sector as I kicked on ball with him there. 2D is down there in 10th position right now. Fabian Marksteiner, though, they're in 12th position. The Austrian recently placed, actually, as soon as, I think, today, in PSGL PCFA. So, and a recent time, of course, to Rising Lions. How are you making him so far? He's there in 12th position. He's a 10th off Manduka there in 11th position for Team Malta. 500th of a second separating them. They seem a little bit off the pace towards everyone else, but anything can happen on the final laps around here. And one lap from either of them could really put their team in good contention to qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, in terms of the gaps around you, I mean, they are a couple of times off the rest of the field right now, but all it does take is just that one lap, that one hooked up lap that any driver could potentially pull off. Just that one brilliant lap, and you could put yourself in a big conversation.
Definitely so, definitely so. Taja Hardy there on a lap, 2D on a lap as well. He's going to be my man of focus right now. Of course, TF10 signing as recent as about 2 months ago, I think, 2D signed. The Romanian driver, of course, representing Team Romania here. Benza saying definitely not. Francesco saying it's a cool crossplay episode going on, and Francesco now also saying it's coming Rome. So it's coming Rome, not it's coming home, it seems right now. Daniele Parodi out on top, Bradley Holdham there in second, Taja Hardy there in third. Very good lap times being set, but this man here, the only Xbox driver in the grids tonight for Team Romania, TF10 2D, I know him very well from Legacy Division. He should be up there in terms of a real lap time. Marlon, Luke Thomason, I'm looking at you in terms of potential improvements. 2D there in 10th right now. He's got very, very good pace around this track. Watch out for him on this lap as he now comes through turns 9 and 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it is now the final runs in the session as 2D's going to get underway. DRS wide open as he comes down to begin the final lap here in his qualifying session.
He does. He's out of sync towards everyone else as well, so this is going to be really intriguing, I think, to see if he does try and improve through the first sector. He was good coming through turn number 1 there at the louder curve. Now running up the hill in towards turn number 3, and it's a 15.9, and that's fastest out of everyone in the first sector. I don't believe that for 1 second. I think he's slowest coming through the first sector there, but he's 700s up on his own time, which is why he was showing purple through that first sector. Now coming down the hill in towards turn number 4 at my favourite corner, Schlossgold, now through the right-hander of turn 4. Albon and Hamilton famously making contact there in 2020. Now coming to the left-hander of turn number 6 is Daniele from Bradley from Teichel there, currently the top 3. 2D though in the middle sector. 44.1, he is up there with what I said, Marlon, Luke Thomason, that sort of area is where he's going to go. There's a lot of traffic ahead of him though, he's got to really be careful to avoid this. He's avoided most of it, if not all of it now, as 2D now comes through the right hand of turn number 10. For Team Romania, runs out wide, coming through turn number 10, nearly invalidates on the outside curb, running to the line though, and he's 8th position behind Luke Thomason, exactly where I expected him to go, to be honest. 2D though in 8th, definitely buoying Team Romania with a bit of confidence there.
Yeah, that was a good improvement there from 2D at the end. Obviously, bring himself from a 3.4 down to a 3.2. It definitely helps the Romanian lads.
Definitely so. Taja Hardy, though, was a 10th up in the middle sector. Now coming through the final corner at turn number 10, looking to really put them into the 102.9s. He does. 102.952. Big lap time there from Taja Hardy. Daniele Parodi's just starting on one. Bradley Holdham's coming through the middle sector. He's going to be next across the line. I think that was Manduka to the line there, going into 11. Didn't improve on his actual lap time. Bradley, though, was in ballad, coming out the first curve at turn 7 and 8. Then through turn number 9 at the Pirelli curve. And then through tournament 10 of the Red Bull Mobile curve, Bradley Holdham there, not improving in terms of his lap time, 1600s down in the end. Daniel Kelton, though, was 2 tenths up. Veloce Academy's man, the Team Norway driver here tonight, has over to represent them in Lobby 2. Now comes through the final corner with Daniel Kelton, the Veloce Academy man, looking to put a pole. He does put a pole, 102.915. Great lap time there from the Veloce Academy man. Team Norway going to be happy with that one, but might not be happy for too long, because Daniel Parodi is improving 300ths of a second up in that middle sector. Now coming through the final corner, Neely loses it coming through the final corner on the run to the line, doesn't improve in the end. And that, I think, with Taija Hardy on a lap, that is done in terms of qualifying. It's Daniel Kelton, sorry, they're out on top, from Taija Hardy in second. A rally in there, nicking it for third as well. Daniele Parodi in the end in fourth. Fantastic qualifying session there. But it is that man, once again, on top, Daniel Kelton for Veloce Academy. Team Norway take the spoils in Lobby 1.
Yeah, and an incredible lap right at the end from Daniel Kelton. I jumped onto him, on board with him, literally as he just crossed the middle sector. I saw 2 turns up and I was like, oh, this is going to get spicy now.
It is going to get very, very spicy indeed. Of course, no race, remember, it's only an 18-minute qualifying session. Will be hot fun, of course, into Lobby 2 in due course. But for the benefit of everyone and for the benefit of our admins, Lobby 1 is done, and here is the roll call as it stands. Daniel Kelton there for Team Norway out on top. From Taija Hardy for Netherlands in second. Aurelien for France there in third. Daniele Parodi there in fourth for Team Italy. Then Bradley Holdham in fifth for England. Pulkas there in sixth for Finland. Good lap time from him. Luke Thomason in seventh for Belgium. Marlon in eighth for Germany. And then it's Jurnic in ninth for Slovenia. Tudi in 10th for Romania. Fabian for Austria in 11th, then Manduka for Malta in 12th, and then Alan Banaszak there down for Poland in 13th. Didn't get a lap time on the board, but he does join for Lobby 2, which is absolutely crucial. We are going to get, I'm sure, an absolute drink. My voice is already aching, and that was just one session that you saw there. But what we can do, though, Mike, is run through, of course, the calendar that we've got in front of us, as we will, of course, hot foot it over into Lobby 2 right now. Spain, though, first round of the championship after tonight, Mike. It's going to be interesting. 10 teams to qualify here, though, first. Already, though, Team Norway out on top, and I think really putting themselves into a real eye-catching performance there from Daniel Kelton. Hazara to come as well. ET8 man has been absolutely flying in Legacy Division recently. How do you see Team Norway going through into Lobby 2?
I think they've put themselves in a very strong position with the result in Lobby 1. Going into Lobby 2 now, they just need to be thereabouts so they can get themselves through. But knowing how some of these guys do like to drive that, they're going to be wanting to take pole position. They all want it back to back.
Oh, they all do. They all do. It is going to be very intriguing, as I say, to see how the drivers get on. A reminder as well of the lineup there that we had. Taija Hardy there in second, Aurelien there in third. Very familiar names to you and me on PlayStation. However, though, one of them transitioned to PC, Taija Hardy, he's been there, I think, for the last 5 or 6 months now, and has really came alive in PCF2. And he's proved that tonight again. Team Netherlands, big representation from them. Potentially going to be leaning on Thomas Ronhaar later on in the season, which is going to be absolutely fantastic to see. But Taija Hardy might be Thomas Ronhaar 2.0 right now, but he's there in second. Very good lap time, though, from him.
Absolutely, and he was there from the beginning, putting in the lap times early on, making sure he was always up towards the top. Though one thing I think was a little bit of a disappointment at the end was obviously Bradley getting that invalidation at the end, and obviously, as a Welshman, I love it. As a Brit, oof.
No, as a Brit, as an Englishman, definitely not happy with Bradley Holdham's performance there. P5, he was F1 Pro Exhibition, or he is F1 Pro Exhibition 2023, and he's there in 5th position in the end of that session. Doesn't deserve to be there, but just the talent that we've got, I think, from Lobby 1 there, really just dragging him on. Very, very good lap times by everyone, as I say. And not all is lost. For the likes of Team Poland, who have got their 2 drivers in Lobby 2, for the likes of TF10 2D as well, they've got to rely on their second driver. Anything can still happen going into Lobby 2, as we, I think, have just got the invites now to go into Lobby 2. Mr. Tom is hosting, which means we've got to do a bit of inviting as well.
Absolutely. So we'll have to get on that ASAP. One team, though, I'm very interested to see how they do in Lobby 2. So obviously Team Malta, because obviously Manduka, I mean, it was P12 in the end for him. So now Jacko's going to have to step up now for Lobby 2. Do you see Malta potentially causing a shock here?
Potentially so. Jakku is a two-time Maltese champion, 2020, 2022, former TML driver as well. He was very consistent actually in TML F1 before it closed down in season 9. He did a fantastic job. I am just literally looking to the left-hand side trying to find your name. There you go. Giving you an invite, so there we are. We're all sorted on the commentary end for that. But no, going back to Jakku, I think given how his performances have been in EML, I remember Qatar, I think. It was either in Legacy Division or EML where he absolutely flew through the field. And in the end, I think he came, what, 8th position? 7th, 8th position in that race. It was a fantastic job from him. Might be somebody else I'm thinking of. But Jackie was a very consistent driver, two-time Maltese champion. They have to rely on him. And as I say, their strongest driver, arguably, I think, is coming in Lobby 2, which I think is going to be really, really key for everyone out on track. And speaking of Lobby 2, what we can do, though, is bring you the graphic instead of showing our lovely faces on camera for, well, until the end of the world, I think. But we'll have a look there at Lobby 2. And there is the talent that we've got on offer here for Lobby 2. As you mentioned there, with who was it? It was Jakku for Team Malta, relying on their best driver. Slovenia, arguably on their best driver as well, a name that you are very familiar with from League of Europe. I'm also very familiar with from League of Europe. Primoz Miklavčić. Hopefully I've got that pronunciation right. But he's there for Slovenia, and he's looking to try and get on the board. Arguably, I think, being quicker than Jurnic. So Slovenia, as well as Norway, and may as well as other teams like Finland, for example, with Thomas Laminen, gonna be interesting to see how they get on out on track.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. As you mentioned, Primoz we're very familiar with. Obviously, in terms of racing, I never got to see him in terms of racing. He was always gone. He was up the road whenever I raced him on track. But obviously, incredible driver, and he's absolutely gone on to do incredible things since the League of Europe days.
He has. He's a coach now for Centre Sim Racing as well, and of course that is where you can buy your setups for F1 23. Why buy when you can actually look on time trial and maybe steal a setup or two? Mike, I've stolen one of yours. I have to admit, for League of Europe Division 4, actually got me the race win. So thank you very much for that setup.
Well, you stole one of my setups.
I did. I did free of charge as well.
Didn't even know I had a setup. I don't think that was a setup. I think that was just a default setup.
If it was a default setup, then I was bloody quick with it. Put it that way. Oh well, yeah. But looking at the rest of the lineup that we've got familiar names in there, like Tom, like Jakku, to PlayStation viewers, to anybody that hasn't viewed PC before. We've got ABS Keanu Leotold for France. We've got Jucci in there for Austria. We've got Primoz, as we've already mentioned, for Slovenia. But one name that is immediately striking out at me, and given his exploits in the past in PSGL, Bogdan Moldovan. No, not representing Moldova here. He is representing Romania for ET8, of course, as per his esports team. Bogdan is a very rogue character when it comes to PC racing. PSGL viewers will be very much on par with him. He picked up a podium, I think, in season 33 of PCF2. And he's there on merit right here tonight. And it'll be very interesting to see from a PlayStation side, certainly, and from a console side, how all of the PC guys get on. And remember as well, Mike, Team Poland with both of their drivers in Alan Banajak, and also with their other driver, and I hope to God I get this pronunciation right, Przemek Hubac.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very, very interesting now with the Polish drivers, because of course now we have to kind of have a little cast back to the Lobby 1 to kind of remember the times now, just to see where they are in terms of the competitive level. But yeah, I mean, both Polish drivers in now. It's going to be very interesting to see how they get on in this field, and yeah, let's hope for more fantastic action out on track.
Yeah, definitely. So just waiting on one more driver, I believe, to join. We've got Nuth, Keanu, Jakku, Tom, Lorenzino, Brandox, Yaron, Bogdan, Jucci, Przemek, Hazara, Primoz, and Alanin. So we are missing, I believe, one. And I think, and I'm just trying to see actually, Actually, no, am I just miscounting here? I am miscounting. We've got everyone in. We're good to go. Oh, Thomas Laminen was missing. I
There we
thought
go.
there was 14. Thomas Laminen is missing. He's just on the lobby. So we are now officially good to go.
Happy days. Well, we should be getting underway in just a moment now. And honestly, do you think anyone will be beating the times that we saw in lobby one?
Yes. Yes. And I think it's going to come from Shazoo Tom. And I really think that Tom is a very good driver around here in Austria, has had his fair share of highs and lows actually around this track. He won infamously PSGL PSF1 last season, all to be taken away with a 5-second penalty. Finished third in the end. He was 20th on the grid that day, up to first position. Obviously got it lost in the steward's room. Louis Valentine ended up winning that race that day. But Tom has won from last to first around this track. Obviously, no racing out on track here tonight, but Tom, very good when it comes to qualifying. So I think he is definitely going to be up there. And watch out as well, I would say, for Thomas Laminen. I'm putting all of my faith in him, the Finn. Very consistent driver in PCF3 right now in PSGL. And he, I think, is going to be a shining light for TF10 moving forward.
That is going to be very, very interesting. A lot of drivers to keep an eye on. But let's see which nations are going to come out on top here. And let's see who are going to be the 10 nations that will go on to round one next week.
Yeah, it's going to be really intriguing indeed. Let's have a look then. 18 minutes worth of qualifying once again. Going to get going for Lobby 2. We'll bring you up to date in terms of the calendar, in terms of the points, and everything that you need to know going into round one of the season, of course, for the European Esports Championship. And it'll be interesting, definitely, to see during the week who is going to be filtering through in terms of the lineups. We're going to get one of the first cars out on track, and it looks like it is one of the Team Netherlands drivers, F7R Jeroen. Of course, Tatja Hardy representing them in Lobby 1. Jeroen is going to be one of the first out on track, getting a Team England car ahead of him in Shazoo Tom, and there's also a car right ahead, and I think that might be, if I'm not mistaken, Primoz, who's coming out first, along with Bogdan. And Bogdan is the first out on track for Team Romania. And judging by livery, actually, there, Mike, that, I would say, is a Romanian livery with all of the colours showing. That is a very nice design, I've got to say.
Yeah, that is an absolutely lovely design. Definitely showing all the colours of Romania there, and very identifiable for us to see as Romania as well, which is brilliant for us in the comments box. Obviously, with the F1 World Cars, it can get a little bit tricky every now and then. But yeah, incredible livery from the Romanian guys.
Somebody wanting to get on with things, by the way, is Ducci there, the Austrian. He wants the airtime. We're going to give him the airtime. He is the Austrian driver, of course, representing Team Austria here. Of course, Fabian Marksteiner represent them in Lobby 1. We'll see what Ducci can do out on track. Another relatively unknown quantity to you and me, Mike. Going to be interesting to see how he gets on. Think he's been in PSGL PC on that side. So, Ducci, definitely a driver to watch out for. How do you see him getting on tonight in terms of his first lap?
It's going to be interesting. So, see, I think if you're going to be up there early on, you need to be hitting the low 1 minute freeze off the bat. And he's going to be getting underway now. So, we'll stay on board with him for this lap to be the first lap of the session. So he comes up now towards turn number 1. Let's see how he approaches it. To me, it looks a little bit calm, not really risking anything right now.
Not really risking anything right now, and I think that's just the different styles. 59 and through the first sector there from Ducci, looking very good. As soon as I say that, though, he gets a right tank slapping on. Coming through Remus at turn number 3, negotiates the car very well, actually, on the exit of the corner, and now on the run down towards turn number 4, Stoschville. But what I was going to say there, through turn number 1, you see the PlayStation guys normally take over the curb. PC guys do not take any of that. They take literally within the track limits through turn number 1, which is really unique to see. It's good to see, actually, how the platforms take the different corners. A 44.3 in the middle sector on par, but he's actually just invalidated, Mike, coming through that part of the track at turn number 8 at the Pirelli curve. So Ducci there, not getting his lap time in. The next man up on a lap, I believe, is Mr. Bogdan Moldovan himself. He's now coming in towards the right-hander of turn number 9 at the Verth curve, and then through turn number 10 at the Red Bull Mobile curve. Looking now good through the final couple of corners. Not, though, because he's invalid through the final couple of corners, but it would have been a 103.5 to begin off the evening.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's got that delta on the board now. He can work off that for the rest of the session. As Tom there, immediately with a 3.5 early doors. Obviously, just making sure they get their banker laps in right now. Just something to work off of. And good enough comes through with a 3.6. And then, of course, we got Azara coming through with a 3.5. Jerome there with a 3.3.
Very good lap time from him, and Alan as well there going in second for Team Poland. Brandox is coming through the final corner. Very interesting name. Recently in Legacy Division and ET8, he did very well in Brazil last night around here. Now coming toward the line does Brandox third, 1:03.4. Very good lap time from him. He definitely means business. Again, like Legacy Division last night, definitely means business. Primoz is struggling though, coming through the first sector there, now through the middle at turn number 4, having to really fight the car coming out of the corner. I don't think the Slovenian driver is on a lap time right now. Did not look a happy bunny coming through there though. Keanu not happy either. They're down in 14th for the ABS racing team. They're down in 14th position, running the Alpine livery, of course, the special Alpine livery that they put in the game in real life. But Keanu, they're down in 14th. It's Yaron out on top. Alan there in second, Brandox there in third. And isn't it good, Mike, to see some PlayStation guys up there for once?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to see the PlayStation lads up there. But let's see if they're going to maintain it over the course of the session. Because right now, we've only just done the first laps. There's still 3 more runs to go.
Yeah, 3 more runs to go. And the beneficiary, of course, is with this track being so short, you can get 3, 4, maybe even 5 runs, actually, if you time it right. You can get 4 or 5 runs in very easily indeed around this track. You see that Projemic there into the pit lane. He's down in 10th position right now, 1:03.8. His other teammate, of course, there, I'm just trying to find my other teammate. He's in second. It's Alan Banazak, of course. They're in second position, doing a fantastic job there. Part of the ET8 PCs lineup as well. And they have got a real boatload of talent in terms of their drivers. It looks like immediately, though, we're going to get back racing once again for the second runs. And it looks like Jucci is going to be one of the first to come out, as well as our favourite Englishman, Mr. Shizou Tom, who I have put on for pole position in Lobby 2 around here. Tom, better not let me down.
I mean, as a Welshman, I will say that if England do bottle it, then it is the English way, in my opinion.
It is the English. That is you being completely unbiased towards our English, to our Brits and to our English. Like it, I like it. I like it.
It's good old banter. Good old banter between Welsh and English.
Oh god, it is a serious event. To put it into perspective, this is a serious event. It's the European Esports Championship, but of course, Mike being from Wales, me being from the good old land of the UK and England, have to support my Shizou Tom. But then again, it's very good from an unbiased perspective, from a commentator's perspective, to see some really good drivers, and really good to see actually how the PC guys are getting on, because this is actually my first commentating on PC drivers, and what PC drivers there are. We've had the likes of Thomas Laminen here tonight, Bogdan Moldovan, we've got Primoz in this lobby. Of course, in the last lobby we had Tycho Hardy. Tycho Hardy there has actually just popped in the chat and has said, will we hear the Dutch national anthem if we get P1? Unfortunately, due to copyright claims, I don't think we can. We can maybe put Super Max Verstappen on if you want, but Bogdan Moldovan for Team Romania is coming through the right-hander of turn number 3, and he is now starting up on his second run, Mike, coming down towards Schlossgold at turn 4.
Yeah, absolutely. DRS wide open on the rundown in towards turn number 4 now. And this can be a little bit of a tricky one. Obviously, getting out wide onto the curb, sometimes that curb can really bite back on you. So it definitely is obviously one of those corners where anything can happen. And coming up now to a lot of traffic now through turn 7 and 8, and hopefully they will get out of the way of Bogdan. And yes, they do now through turn number 9. 50-meter board turning in, keeping it within the white line, so no invalidation there. And coming to the line, big snap of oversteer on the exit of the final corner, but P4 for Bogdan.
Yeah, very good lap time actually by Bogdan. Tom there is in the middle sector. Ho-ho! Here we go. Tom is 3/10 up in the middle sector. And this is the King of Austria now coming alive. Let's hope he doesn't invalidate. Coming to the right-hander of turns 9 and 10. The Shizou man flying through turn number 9. Carries so much speed. Coming through turn number 10, no invalidation. This is going pole. Tom to the line, 1031. How do you like them apples? Jeroen, respond to that, my son. Tom out on top, Jeroen there in second, Alan Banazak there in third. Brandnock's there in fourth, he's on a lap as well as Hazara, and he, to be fair, for Team Norway, is 2.5 on top, as Primoz Miklavčić there goes quickest for Team Slovenia. Very good lap time from him, the PC man now out on top, Kooky Games on top from Tom. Tom not going to be happy with that, Nuth definitely going to be happy, he goes fourth, Keanu there goes third, Hazara now goes fourth, and look at that, Mike, in the space of about 30 seconds, we've got Primoz to Nuth covered by, what, 700ths of a second covering 5 drivers, absolutely insane.
Incredible stuff. It is so close between these drivers right now, and I am all for it.
Oh,
and
sorry to cut you off. I thought that was a front wing loss there for Przemek, but I think he's actually gone through the brake marker boards coming out of the final corners at turns 9 and 10. A lot of polystyrene there put on the track. The pole there down in 13th invalidated his run coming through that corner. It was very, very shaky coming out of that corner, and it's unfortunate for him. Down in 13th, and he is also, it seems, getting in the way of one of the drivers as Jucci goes quickest. Where on earth has that come from? A 103.132. Didn't expect him to be up there, but that is a big shock, and it's a welcome shock as well. Jucci out on top now, Primoz Miklavčić there in second, Tom in third. And now we go back to what I said earlier on, Mike. The top 7 are now covered by a 1/10 of a second. So close.
I can't believe how close it is right now between the top 7, but every 10th, and sorry, not every 10th, because obviously around this track, a 10th is a big time game, but every 100th is now going to be so important for all these drivers now.
It's going to be so important indeed, as Thomas Laminen is in a rush to get into the pit lane. He overtakes, I think that's Tom, coming in the pit lane ahead. Bogdan Moldova now going for his third run there for Team Romania, down in 11th position. Team Romania under pressure, obviously, from Lobby 1. And remember, the results going out of Lobby 1, Daniel Keltsen out on top, Toja Hardy in second, and Ruddy there in third. This time around, however, we've got Austria from Slovenia from England. Last session, Lobby 1, Team Norway, Team Netherlands, Team France in terms of first, second, and third. France definitely up there with Keanu. Hazara's up there for Team Norway. Unfortunately, as well, for Team Netherlands right now, they are down in 7th position. Jeroen has got to get his foot out, quite literally, and put them now on the brink. But they look pretty comfortable, I think, Team Netherlands, as do quite a few teams. But because it's so tight in this session, Mike, it's going to bring all of the times potentially to a formed average, and therefore it's going to be a lot closer than I think what people are expecting there in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be incredibly tight in terms of the standards at the end of this. But one driver I'm very interested to see improvements from is obviously Primoz
Miklavčić.
There we go. That's the one. As my pronunciation skills do come into play once again.
Yeah, well, he can pronounce the longest village, of course, in Wales, but he can't pronounce Primoz Miklavčić. Look, he's got me in the commentary box with him. 15-9 in the first sector for Bogdan Moldovan, though. He's equal, actually, in terms of his first sector split, so looking very good. Coming now through the right-hand of turn number 3. Actually, so good, in fact, he's actually backed off his lap, so Bogdan not going to go for this run. Clearly feeling he can get more time coming out through the first sector. Jucci, though, out on top, and Primoz Miklavčić there in second, Tom there in third. Another driver going on to a lap time is a man that you're familiar with and commentating, of course, around here, Ossio Lorenzino, coming up the hill now in towards turn 3 at Remus.
Yeah, of course, Lorenzino been doing great so far this season in PSGL F4 throughout the course of the season, and he's absolutely been flying as of late in PSGL, so very good to see him here, obviously putting his mettle against all these fantastic drivers here tonight, and we're going to see if he can improve on his time. It's a 3.6 right now for Lorenzino as he approaches now the middle sector split as we come through turn number 6. Let's see if there's any improvements here, and he's up by 0.03 of a second. We go through 7 and 8 now.
think he's lost a bit of time, actually, through that middle sector. Of course, Lorenzino as well in EML F1 last season, representing RCR, really came alive towards the end of the season, and coming alive, it seems, to the end of this lap as well. Looking very good through turns 9 and 10. Lorenzino to the line. Doesn't improve his position, though. 103.568. Not a bad lap time there at all from him. Jacku was down by 4/10 in that middle sector. The Maltese man definitely not going to go on his lap. Primoz Moklavčić is not on a lap, neither's Tom, because he's bailed coming into the pit lane. Keanu, it seems, however, is the ABS man now for Team France, coming up the hill into the right-hander of turns number 9 and 10, and he's looking very, very quick, trying to follow in the footsteps of Aurelian, finishing P3 in Lobby 1. Keanu through the final corner on the run line. Does he go quickest? No, goes third, and now it's even closer between the top 7. It's still less than a 10th of a second. Jeroen's backed off on his lap. Newton validated through the final corner, was 300ths down in the end. The NLR man for Germany. Hazara there is just on up on a lap as well, but he's 4/10ths down in the first sector. But very, very close out on track. Ducci out on top. Primoz there in second. Keanu there in third. Harley saying is coming home. Not quite at the minute.
Yeah, not quite at the minute. I was just on board with Zemek coming through, popping himself up into P11 with a 3.4. Good improvement there from a 0.8, but definitely more time to find, I think, for the Polish man.
Yeah, given how him and Thomas as well, Thomas Laminen even, they're in P10 for TF10, how they have really came about in PSGL PC, they've done a fantastic job. Przemek, of course, from the Polish side of things, a champion there, of course, in SOL Tier 2, I think, in Season 7, and he was been racing with the likes of Petr Stachelek, and Petr Stachelek, of course, was a former F1 Esports Challengers driver and Pro Exhibition driver back in the day, so he's got experience in racing with the best. He's there in 11th position, albeit a little bit slower than the guy that we've just aforementioned there, but Przemek there in 11th, only 0.06 of a second off Thomas Laminen. Very, very strong showing at the minute for Team Poland. And with their driver there in P9, as well, Alan Banaszak, they're in P9. Team Poland are looking to try and scrape through potentially at the bottom end of the standings, but because their average is so close, they could be higher than most teams, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. See, Team Poland, unfortunately, weren't able to get a driver into Lobby 1. But they've made up for it here in Lobby 2, where both of their drivers setting some fantastic lap times. And it's going to be very, very close, that cut-off point for the top 10.
It is going to be very, very close indeed. And this qualifying session at the end is going to be very close indeed as well. Looking through at your comments there in the chat, Frederick Grand saying, look at Norway. They're doing a fantastic job with Hazara there in P5 right now. Indigo is in the chat, my regular co-commentator for the European Esports Championship and indeed for Esports Masters League. He's going to be back next week. He's feeling under the weather. He's got a sore throat. He's coughing up his guts, I'm sure. You didn't need to know that. He didn't want you to hear that either. But he will be back next week, hopefully all fit and well. Mike filling in fantastically, I've got to say, tonight as well. Please show Mike some love in the chat. I really hope that you do show him some love. Otherwise, I'm going to come out and get you. Ducci though out on top. Primoz Moklavčić there in second. Keanu Leotold there in third. But the final drivers are about to start up on their laps. And Thomas Laminen, a driver that we haven't rolled on board with actually in this session, is coming in towards turn number 9 and 10. Team Finland, with their shock actually with Pulkis there qualifying in P6 and Lobby 1. Thomas looking to follow in the footsteps, running up the hill and towards turn 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be getting his lap underway now on the approach in towards turn number 1. And that is fantastically done there from Thomas. And climbing up the hill now towards turn number 2 and the break in the turn number 3. Let's see what this first sector split is saying. Around half a 10th up. Good improvement so far. That will get him ahead of Alan Banaszak if he can get himself, well, if he can maintain it throughout the course of this lap. And I think has he backed out there? Yeah,
I think he has. Yeah, I don't think he was happy coming out of turn number 3. I think he might have had a little bit of a snap coming out of turn number 3. I was on board with Jeroen when it happened. But Jeroen, speaking of which, is actually just behind him out on track. Team Netherlands drivers 1100ths down in that first sector. So Thomas was actually quicker than Jeroen through that first sector. Jeroen now coming through the left-hander of turn number 7 and 8. He's 500ths up in that middle sector, so finding all of that time in the middle sector. The former Team Relentless man back in the day, coming in towards the right-hander at turn number 9, through the right-hander now, turn number 10, he's got Thomas right in front of him, coming through the final corner and validate through the final corner. I think Jeroen's got time to go for another run, but he's got no battery left. That's him done. Team Netherlands potentially in trouble here. Brandok's improving good in the first sector. Hazard just coming through that pot. Tom is down in the first sector as well. But we've got Keanu coming through the middle sector, and he's a 10th and a half up, Mike. 44 flat, looking good in the middle sector for Team France.
Yeah, absolutely. 10th and a half up now, approaching the penultimate corner, turn number 9. Throwing the car through, and now for the final corner.
Wow!
And Jucci there with improved time. It's a 2.9 as Keanu goes up in the P2 with a 3.1. And to be honest, was there quite a bit of time lost in the final sector there for Keanu?
There was a good 10th lost in that final sector. Primoz, though's got something to say about this. The Team Slovenian man now coming through. Turn number 9, but he invalidates. He was a 10th and a half up in the middle sector. He's going to be absolutely wrecking himself with that. And it's a 3 flat, and he would have went second with that. Every single thousandth of a second count. Hazard is invalidated as well. Jeroen obviously not on a lap. Bogdan's not on a lap. Team Poland, however, are with both of their drivers, as Przemek is the first out on track to come across the line. Thomas Laminen now to the line for TF10 for Team Finland, goes 9th. Not a bad lap time from him. Alan Banaszak to the line, goes 7th. Good lap time from him. Goes ahead of Nathan Jeroen, puts Team Germany potentially under trouble. I think with Jeroen done, that is the end of qualifying in Lobby 2. Jucci out on top, a 102.9. A man that I didn't know nothing about coming into tonight has definitely now proven he is a man not to be messed with. Jucci out on top, Keanu Leotold there in second for Team France, Primoz Miklavčić there in third for Team Slovenia. And it's that same story that we mentioned at the start of Lobby 2. Drivers that had the slightly slower ones, or teams that had the slightly slower drivers in Lobby 1 had the quicker drivers in Lobby 2. Jucci, Keanu, Primoz, probably proving that.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, with Lobby 1, Fabian was quite low down the order. I think the time at the end was a 0.6, if I remember correctly, off the top of my head by you. But yeah, I mean, Jucci with a 2.9, that will bring like the combined average down quite considerably. But I'll let you run through the order now.
Indeed, Lobby 2 has ended, and it's Jucci there out on top. Team Austria at their home track. Jucci is going to be absolutely over the moon with that. Where on earth did that come from? I do not know. He certainly has had a Weetabix this morning. Keanu Leotold there in second. Primoz Miklavčić there in third. So Team France and Team Slovenia second and third. Tom there in fourth for the good old Brits. Then Hazara there in fifth for Team Norway. Brandok's in sixth for Team Italy. They're going to be definitely through, I would think. Alan Banaszak there in seventh for Team Poland, along with Knut for Germany. Jeroen there in ninth for Team Netherlands. And then Thomas Laminen in P10 for Team Finland. They've dropped a little bit since Lobby 1. Bogdan in 11th for Team Romania, then Przemek in 12th for Team Poland, Lorenzinho 13th for Team Belgium, and then Jaku there in 14th for Team Malta. Very, very interesting then to Lobby 2 there. But why not whet the appetite a little bit further in terms of the racing that we're going to be having for the rest of the season? Let's have a look then at the calendar that we've got. It is a very specific calendar. You will notice it's a European calendar as well. Qualifying night is done, Mike, but Spain, round 1 of the championship next week. Going to be absolutely fascinating to see how the drivers get on and what teams are actually going to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Spain is one of those tracks. I mean, it's a lot better now they're taking out that chicane from the final sector, but Spain as a track has always been providing better action in terms of driving on the game as compared to real life. So I'm expecting Spain to be an absolute cracker of a season opener.
And of course, remember with Spain, the chicane is gone. So there's no chicane. There's that flat right-hander coming through turns 14 and 15. Going to be very interesting to see how the drivers get on around that new track layout. And then, because apparently Christmas is coming up for some people, Netherlands is round 2 of the championship. 20th of December, and then we've got the Christmas break for 2 weeks, and then we're back at Monza, the Temple of Speed, for round 3 of the championship on the 3rd of January. So literally, when we're back in 2024, we're back in Italy for the Temple of Speed. Then round 4 in Belgium on the 10th of January, and then we're ending off, arguably Mike doesn't want to call it home, but we are home for round 5 of the championship. It is Silverstone, the home of British motorsport, 17th of January, and remember, all races to be had at 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Central Eastern Time for you guys in Europe. but 8 p.m. UK time for us here in the Brits. And that is a very unique calendar. It's a unique event. I cannot wait to see how the drivers are going to fare out on track. I cannot wait to see how everyone is going to do and what nations are going to be represented. This is something that hasn't been done before, I don't think, in terms of the whole sim racing side of things. Hopefully big names get involved. Thomas Ronhaar provisionally down for Team Netherlands. We've seen the likes of Taja Hardy already here. We've seen Primoz Miklavčić already here. Big names from PC, from Xbox, from PlayStation, gonna be here for round 1 of the championship in Spain next week. And if you want a rundown as well of what the points is going to be for the rest of the season, let me get that up for you as well on track. It is very similar to the Esports, in fact it is similar to the Esports Masters League point system. It's the exact same system. First gets 30, second gets 25, third gets 20, then fourth 17, fifth gets 15, and then all the way down to 19th position. Unfortunately, if you're 20th, you're not good enough, you get 0 points. You do get a fastest lap point, however, if you are further down the field. And they, of course, go down in 1 point increments from 5th all the way down to 19th, with 1 point being 19th position, 5th place being 15. Clear? I hope it is. But Mike, that point system going to certainly reward the nation, certainly reward the drivers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to reward the nations of the drivers that will work together very well. And one thing that I would like to emphasize as well is if you're having a poor race, make sure you get that fastest lap in. Retiring just means no points, and every point matters. So make sure you're staying out there and making sure that you get the maximum that you can.
Definitely so, definitely so. I'm in conversation, by the way, with Mr. RLS_Maze. We, I believe, have got some results, I think, that we can give you. Let me give you the order. Here we go. Right, I'm going to get the, because it is in graphical form. I am going to show you in graphical form. So give me a second. I'm just going to save this on my laptop. I'm just going to get everything together. Build the tension. Drum roll, please, from your end, Mike. If we can hear a drum roll, that is.
Yeah, well, I was actually doing a drum roll.
You were. We haven't got you on the camera, so nobody has seen you do a drum roll, unfortunately. Right, give me a second. I'm just saving this now on the stream, and we can. I'm going to literally replace this. Apologies if it is lagging slightly, by the way. It is just me trying to save things on my laptop, and hopefully it's all going to be there. Right. Who wants to see... I'm just going to reformat this slightly. Who wants to see some provisional results? Let's go. Let's have a look at the provisional results. Even Mike doesn't know what the provisional results are, I don't think. So this is how it stands right now in terms of provisional. Of course, any stewards reports will go in afterwards, but this is how the overall classification is as it stands. Team Norway with a combined time of a 2:06.093 on top. France with Aurelien and Keanu Leotard in second. 11 thousandths of a second behind Team Norway in second with a 2:06.104. Team Netherlands in third, quite comfortably in the end. Taja Hardy and Jeroen in third, 700ths down in terms of an interval timing, 900ths down on Team Norway. Italy in fourth with Daniel Parodi and Brandox, 2:06.219, and they're a tenth and a quarter down in fourth position. England there in fifth with Bradley Holdham and Tom with a 2:06.247, tenth and a half off there in fifth. Team Slovenia are through thanks mainly to Primoz Miklavčić's great lap in lobby 2 there, sixth position, 2:06.367, 2.75 tenths per second in behind. Then Austria coming in behind that in seventh, Fabian Marksteiner and Jucci. Thanks to Jucci, I think, for Austria getting through, 2:06.427. 0.3 of a second behind. Germany there in 8th, 1100ths of a second behind from Marlon and Nuth with a combined time of a 2:06.438. Then Finland in 9th with Pulkis and Thomas Lamminen in 9th with a 2:06.476, 3.5 tenths off once again. And Romania is the final team to get through, Mike. TF10, Tudi and Bogdan Moldovan doing enough at 2:06.602. So those are the 10 teams provisionally. Poland, though, gotta feel sorry for them, missing out by 24 hundredths of a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Commiserations to the Polish team, the Belgian team, and the Maltese team. And I mean, look at that. At the end, it was less than, well, just over a tenth between Romania and Belgium. So it just shows that every little bit matters in qualifying.
Yeah, as Tesco once said, every little helps, and I think every little helps quite literally in terms of the interval time, in terms of the thousandth of a second that was to be had out on track. We knew it was going to be close coming into tonight in qualifying. That is just how close it can be. Top 10 teams covered by 5/10ths of a second. And we've got Spain to look forward to next week as well. So we'll keep that up for now. We're going to end the stream, however, though, right here, right now. I really hope you did enjoy. Of course, if you did like our commentary, you can hit the like button, subscribe, comment if you are brand new to the channel. Helps out with the algorithm, helps out with everything that is going to be happening with the European Esports Championship. Let's try and break the 100 view barrier as we go forward into round one of the championship. That is a goal I'm setting to absolutely everyone out there. Well, no matter if you're watching this back or whatever, we, though, are going to be seeing you for round one of the championship from Spain. A big thank you, and I'm going to get the cameras up for this. A big thank you. Oh, he's gone. There we go. There he is, just appearing on my end. There is Mr. Michael Edwards. A big thank you to you, Mike, for filling in. First time actually commentating on the PC side for both of us. How did you fare, and how did you feel that all went?
I mean, the action on track was absolutely incredible. In terms of how I fared, I struggled with many names. Many, many names.
Well, we did do a pronunciation session just before we came live, by the way, so I apologise from either of us if we have butchered any singular name out there on track tonight. We will work on it. We will get forward. There's going to be even more bad pronunciations, I'm sure, to come throughout the season. God knows what Jamie's going to think next week when he hops back in the box with me. But we are going to bid you adieu. Auf Wiedersehen. We're going to bid you goodbye. But for myself and from Mike, have a good evening. Thank you so much for watching. And again, from a word of our sponsors, Next Level Racing, until next week in Spain, round one of the European Esports Championship, goodbye.